Hi, welcome. My name is Tony Ludwig with ProductManagerHub.io, your ultimate resource for product management information. Whether you're a newbie coming into the industry or you're a seasoned veteran, we have plenty of things for you to kind of review on our website. So we recommend visiting www.productmanagerhub.io for all the latest information and communities to network. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about the recent article that we posted, which is called Baby Steps into Product Management. The way we kind of started looking at this particular topic is we noticed that there are a lot of individuals currently within the industry that are looking to potentially break into product management. Is it hard? Yes. Does it have to be hard? Not really. We look at it as it's potentially you can formulate a little bit of framework of at least understanding how to break into the career. And then once you get into it, some of the different steps with regards to the levels of product management. And then we dive into some other information to help you understand when you're in those particular levels of product management, what kind of skills are really useful to dial in before making that transition to the next piece within your career. So, once again, we recommend you visit our website, check out Baby Steps to Product Management, a beginner's guide to transitioning into product management for the full piece of information. But I just wanted to take this video to step into really the first iteration of, well, if I want to become a product manager, what does that really look like? So let's start out with kind of those general levels of product management. A lot of it, as you probably would anticipate, within any kind of level of anything that you do, you're always going to have your entry level product management, mid level, senior level, director level, vice president level. To dive into just a little bit more, you can actually look at, well, what does an entry level product manager really do? This is really the starting point for most product managers at this stage. Product managers typically work on smaller projects or features within large products and kind of learn the basics of product management. When you start getting up into some of the other pieces to it, by the time you hit that mid level, you're looking at, you have a few years of experience under your belt. You've worked at a little bit larger organizations or more complex projects, and at this point, you start kind of thinking about there might be more strategic visioning going on. So when you start looking at projects instead of doing just kind of tactical work, you're actually looking at a little bit more strategic work. And then once you get into the senior product management, typically they like to throw around a certain amount of years before you get into that. I think it really is based off of talent, in my opinion. Not so much the years behind it, but just um, what you've been exposed to, and how well you adapt to what you have been exposed to. So, a couple other things within senior product management. Usually, they lead cross-functional teams, so you start working with some of the other teams that go into creating a product. So you could be working with marketing, branding, a little bit more with their UX designers. You'll be actually working with clients and stakeholders a little bit more as well, some of the end users, just to get a better feel for that product. And then once you get into these last two phases of director and then vice president, really, once again, they want to put some areas of years of basically how long you've been in the industry. But once again, I think it's really about what you've been exposed to. But at this point, once you get into the director stuff, you kind of start transitioning from just doing your tactical day to day, how to develop and deliver product, but you start looking at financial impacts. So you start having to sharpen some skills around how to do budgeting for a new feature, how to start looking at some of the different ROIs that a feature is bringing back into the organization, cost of capital, and then that flows right into the vice president's seat as well from product management. At this point, you're going to be doing more real heavy strategic that is tied into corporate OKRs or corporate vision and mission. And so that's just going to be a whole different piece as well. So those are, the general levels that we have from within product management. What I really wanted to focus on today is just really give you that general level overview and then also give you, a little bit of insight what kind of skills are needed within each of those levels. I'm always asked that question of, hey, if you could really combine it into If I'm at an entry level product manager position, what should I be focusing on? Should I be focusing on how to do budgeting and how to do strategic visioning, or should I be doing this? And so hopefully this helps kind of answer some of those questions that you might have lurking in the back of your head. So, from an entry level product manager position, some of the things that we always look at is we say, have that strong communication skill. Make sure that you're working on how to deliver a story, how to deliver a feature, how to bring individuals together and convey what you're trying to achieve within that product. Some of the other things that we also have is basic product development process. That kind of goes into how do you craft user stories? How do you work with the development team? How do you understand a little bit of the technical lingo? How do you understand how to structure a sprint, deliver product, test, all of those pieces to it? So we say focus on that and then couple it with the strong communication, and then the last piece of it is really start kind of looking at fine tuning your attention to detail. So it's really kind of the ability to identify and resolve any of those issues to ensure quality in product and features. And this goes back into you kind of know what you're developing for a product. You understand what the developers are supposed to be developing. Then this kind of goes back into your business review of, hey, does it make sense on what I am developing and bringing to market? Does it function the way it should function? Is it supposed to be really designed and built the way it was supposed to be designed and built? So anyway, that's one of the things from an entry level product manager you really want to look at. Once again, strong communication, basic knowledge of really the development process, and then the attention to detail. So, those are some of the things to look at from an entry level product manager position. As we start kind of ramping up a little bit more from a mid level product manager position, we really want you to start kind of looking at that strategic think, really how do you kind of critically think through the development and long-term product vision so you have a brand new product that you're bringing to market? It is, what is the first iteration of it? Is there an MVP involved into it? And then what is it going to look like after that? So that is really kind of the strategic part to it. Market knowledge, this also ties in the strategic part as well. You got to have an understanding of your industry, how users interact with it, who are the users, and then the last piece of it is going to be those product management skills or project management skills, because now you're going to be not only tightly coupled with just a small feature within a product, but now you're going to be looking at, well, how do I have to involve other teams as well to deliver this product? So, for example, if you're working with your intimate development team, sometimes you might have to work with infrastructure. You might have to work with a couple other capability teams within an organization to deliver something, your authorization security team as well. So, from a mid-level product manager position, we say focus on those skills and then bring in the skills that you brought from the entry level. Keep sharpening those. When it comes to that senior level product manager position, this is where we start kind of compounding on it. So you start kind of building the tactical skills along the way, and now it's starting to kind of flow a little bit more into those leadership skills. Really, how do you lead a cross-function team? How do you make sure that not only you're working with your developers, but now you start bringing in UX, you start bringing in branding, you start kind of coordinating with some of the other teams to bring together larger projects to scale and to market. And then the last piece is going to be a little bit more of diving into instead of the feel, like, hey, I think this would be a good thing out into the market that I want to bring. It is now coupling your sense of product management, the market, and then you're starting to tie in kind of your data analytics as well and the metrics behind it. So you want to start looking at, well, I know they want this. They've said they wanted this, but how do I know that this product is actually a success? And this kind of ties into some of the development of, your KPIs and the OKRs that are, really attached to that project. And then you have to flush in the whole data analysis side of it as well. So you got to understand that, yes, this is actually impacting the market beyond, did we increase usage? What types of things are you trying to analyze to make sure that your product is actually viable and they should continuously invest into it into the future? And then the last piece of it is that product strategy. really helping to, drive that roadmap with regards to you have tied in a good feel for the market, a good feel for the data analysis, and then you can start building out the strategy to know that, if we implement the ability to include, integrations into a payment processing, that it's going to increase user adoption, so on and so forth. So that's kind of some of the skills that we recommend you have as a senior product manager once you get into the director level. Once again, we're going to continuously build on that strategic leadership side of it, team management. So now you're starting to get away from once again, the tactical side of product management. You're getting into how do you build a good team? How do you make sure that you are unblocking roadblocks for that team and making sure that everything is developing and moving across the streams as they should with no blockage. And then it's kind of starting to begin that business acumen, as you can see there. So understanding the financial and business implications of a product decision. So that goes back into, once again, you think about, cost of capital for a particular project. You're going to go in and you're going to say, I'm going to deliver X feature within the product, and I imagine that it is going to generate this based off of my analysis. And if it's going to generate this, and the cost of the actual project is going to cost this, and then I can kind of get my ROI percentage in there so that I can, for the most part, accurately go back to leadership and say, if we implement this or invest in this particular technology or tool or feature within it, we should see a growth of this within the organization, which means if they, put cash into it to fund it, you should see this kind of return on that. And then the last thing that I want to talk through once again from our article is going to be, what kind of skills would you need from a vice president of product management? Once again, we're gonna, go back into that leadership skill. So it's just another level of leadership. And then you're going to start looking at kind of that vision and innovation portion of it. Usually, a lot of people in this particular position are actually going out to the customer with the CEO. They're kind of getting out there and seeing and working with the sales, understanding what people are looking for from a future standpoint, and then any of the businesses that you work for or have clients of. It's really kind of sitting down and understand their needs and where their business is going, so that you can start predicting potentially not only was what the data is telling you and what your personal vision is of the market, but you also have your clients that are saying, hey, in the next 3 to 4 years, we're going to be strategically shifting to be doing this, which would potentially have you at least note that you need to adjust your product to then fit, the needs of your existing paying customers as well. So we have the vision and innovation, and then the last piece is that business strategy. So just overall understanding where the company is going and making sure that that product fits within its portfolio. Once again, this is just kind of scratching a little bit of the surface. The way we have broken this article down, and I would make sure and encourage you to visit, but I would say go to our website once again, productmanagerhub.io, search for baby steps to product management in the search bar, and give it a read. So we're giving you a really good framework to at least start out and understand what product management is all about. Look forward to seeing you in the next video. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to reach out to me. I would be happy to answer anything that you have. Thanks again for watching.